My wife had to work late every Thursday. One night, I showed up at her office with dinner, but the receptionist smiled and said, "She left an hour ago. Thought she was home with you." My blood ran cold. I checked her location, a luxury hotel. That night, I left a note on her pillow. Hope he was worth it. Check the nightstand. When she opened the drawer, she found the divorce papers. Already signed. I'm 41. My wife, well, soon-to-be ex-wife, is 38. We've been married for 12 years, together for 14. 2 kids, 10 and 7. We live in Chicago. I work from home full-time. She works downtown at a PR firm. Things were good. Or so I thought. It started subtle. Maybe that's why I didn't catch on sooner. For the past year, she started working late on Thursdays. Always Thursdays. It became her late night because of weekly team check-ins that supposedly ran long. Sometimes she'd come home close to midnight. She said they were drinking wine after meetings, sometimes dinner with coworkers. Networking, she called it. I didn't question it much at first. She's always been super career-driven, and she'd worked hard to move up at her job. I thought, maybe this was just part of that climb. I trusted her. Fully. No doubts. We weren't perfect, but we were good. Or maybe I just didn't want to see the cracks. But then things started feeling off. She was distant, snappy, distracted, always on her phone, texting and smiling. I'd ask her who she was talking to, and she'd just say work stuff or group chats with the girls. Sex slowed down. When it did happen, it felt mechanical, like she was just going through the motions. She stopped laughing at my jokes. She stopped asking me about my day. It was like living with a roommate I barely knew. The worst part? I still kept making excuses for her. I thought maybe she was just stressed, or burnt out, or tired from being a mom, a worker, a wife. I didn't want to be the paranoid husband, so I just let things slide. But then one Thursday night changed everything. I decided to surprise her. I figured maybe we just needed a little spark, a gesture to remind her I still cared. So I picked up sushi from her favorite spot, Coast Sushi on Damon, and drove down to her office around 7:30 p.m. I even got her favorite roll, the spicy tuna with avocado. It was a little thing, but I was hopeful. I imagined us eating together in her office, laughing, reconnecting. I walked into her building, took the elevator to her floor, and greeted the receptionist. She smiled and said, "Oh hey, Mike. Sarah left about an hour ago. Thought she was home with you." I didn't say anything at first. Just stood there, frozen. I felt this heavy, cold weight drop into my stomach. It was like time slowed down. My hands started shaking. My mouth went dry. The sushi bag suddenly felt like it weighed 50 pounds. I nodded, thanked the receptionist, and left. Once I got outside, I sat in my car and just stared at the steering wheel. A million thoughts went through my head. Was she at a client meeting? Did something come up? Was she hurt? Then I remembered we had location sharing on our phones. It was something we set up a while ago for emergencies. I opened the app. Her PIN was at the Grand Hyatt, a luxury hotel downtown. I stared at the screen for a good minute, just trying to make sense of it. Then I zoomed in. She wasn't just nearby. She was inside the hotel. No meetings there. No coworkers. No business dinner. Just her. At a hotel. At 8:30 p.m. I didn't drive over. I knew I couldn't handle what I might see. I just sat there, shaking, watching her location. Then I saw another pin appear. Someone else was nearby. Not someone I knew, just another random phone. I watched them move closer together, and then stay in the same spot. She wasn't alone. That was the moment everything fell apart for me. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat in that cold silence. I stayed there for an hour. I didn't even eat the sushi. Just watched her dot on the map, motionless in a luxury hotel room. I drove home like a zombie. Didn't even remember the streets I took. I just ended up in our driveway somehow. Inside the house, everything looked normal. The kids were asleep. Her slippers were by the door. Her coffee mug from the morning still on the counter. And suddenly I felt this overwhelming sense of disgust. This wasn't home anymore. It was just a place filled with lies. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even lay down. The next morning, I called a divorce lawyer. Told them everything. Showed them the location history. The messages I'd started digging up on our shared tablet. Stuff I hadn't thought to look at before. There were vague messages from someone named M, late-night texts, photos deleted from her phone but still cached in our cloud. It wasn't just one mistake. It was an affair. Ongoing. Planned. Hidden. Thursday nights were their nights. I didn't confront her right away. I waited one more week. I needed to be sure. I needed to see it again. So the following Thursday, I checked her location at 8:10 p.m. Same hotel, same floor. She'd told me she was having a wine night with the girls at work. She called my name, called me again. I just stood there, arms crossed, waiting. She said, "Mike, please, let me explain." I didn't say a word. Her face changed confusion, then guilt, then anger. She tried to say it was just once, that it didn't mean anything, that he was just someone from work who made her feel seen. I didn't argue. I just walked past her, grabbed my car keys, and said I'd be at my brother's. She's been trying to reach out ever since, apologizing, crying, saying we can fix it. But you can't fix what you burn to the ground. I'm still figuring out the rest. Not sure how this ends. Maybe I'll update later. Right now, I'm just trying to breathe. The morning after I left the note, I stayed at my brother's place. Slept on his couch. Didn't sleep much, just stared at the ceiling thinking about how my life flipped in one night. Around 6 a.m., I had 23 missed calls. All from her. Texts too. "Mike, please talk to me. IF asterisk 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 get up. Please don't do this. Don't tear our family apart. We can fix this." Funny how the one who tore the family apart suddenly wants to fix it. I ignored them all. Around noon, I went back to the house. I needed clothes, toothbrush, a few things for the kids. She was there, sitting on the bottom step of the stairs, hugging her knees. Eyes swollen, still in the dress she wore the night before. The same dress she probably had on while she was with him. She saw me and stood up fast. "Mike, please, just give me 5 minutes. Just 5. I didn't want to. Every part of me wanted to walk right past her. But some part of me, maybe out of habit, maybe out of pity, stopped. She launched into her speech. I won't write it all here, but it was the usual. She was lonely. I didn't make her feel wanted anymore. Work stress. She didn't plan for it to happen. It was only on Thursdays. They started meeting after a work event. He understood her. Then she said something that stopped me cold. "You know him. You've met him." I froze. "What?" "He came to the Christmas party last year. You shook his hand." My jaw clenched so tight I thought my teeth would break. "His name is Drew. Works in finance. 44, divorced. No kids. Apparently, they've been talking since last spring. Lunches turned into drinks. Drinks turned into hotel rooms. And I'd met him. Shook his hand. Said, 'Nice to meet you, man,' while he was already screwing my wife behind my back. I walked out. Couldn't breathe. I sat in my car gripping the steering wheel so hard I left finger dents in the leather. Later that day, I called my lawyer. Told him everything, especially that part. He said the affair changes how the divorce plays out. Since Illinois is a no-fault state, it doesn't change asset split much, but custody, yeah, that matters. So now it's messy. We're in mediation. She wants joint custody. I want full. I can't trust her. She lied for a year. Put our kids second to her affair. And now she wants to play the loving mother card? Nope. Then it got worse. A week after the mediation started, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. "Mike, you don't know me, but you need to see this." Attached was a photo. My wife, Drew, in a different hotel, 2 months before I caught her. Arms around each other. Same smiles. Different place. The number messaged again. "He's been seeing my sister too. Found out after I saw your post. I think we both got played." I just sat there, stunned. Turns out, Drew's not just a homewrecker. He's a serial one. I called my wife. Told her everything. She didn't speak at first. Then she whispered, "I didn't know. He said he loved me." I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. Not because it was funny, but because it was pathetic. You gave up your marriage, your family, your life. For a man who was cheating on you, too. She hung up. Since then, she's been spiraling. She's showing up unannounced. Leaving letters. Emails. Talking about how she threw everything away for nothing. How she made the biggest mistake of her life. How she can't live like this. I told her to stop coming by. Told her to talk to my lawyer. Told her this wasn't some movie where we kiss and make up. The damage is done. But then something happened last week that threw another wrench into everything. My 10-year-old daughter came to me crying. "Daddy, Mommy said you don't love us anymore." Is that true? I had to hold it together in that moment. I hugged her tight and told her the truth, at least the part that wouldn't scar her. "I love you more than anything in the world. What's going on between me and Mommy isn't your fault. I will always be here for you. But inside, I was raging. She dragged the kids into this now? Guilt-tripping them? Using them to twist the knife? I texted her. Leave the kids out of this. You chose this mess. You don't get to rewrite the story. No reply. But I know this is far from over. The custody fight is getting worse. She's trying to paint me as emotionally distant, saying I checked out of the marriage. Her lawyer even tried to say I might have been unfaithful. Wild, considering I've got receipts going back a year proving her affair. I'm keeping it together. For the kids. For myself. But every day feels like a war. And part of me still wakes up every morning thinking, how the hell did we get here? More updates soon if people want them. This isn't over yet. A couple of weeks after that message from the woman whose sister was also involved with Drew, I started getting strange emails. At first, I thought it was spam. But then I noticed the subject lines, you don't know the whole story. There's more you should see. You're not the only husband. Each one came from a different throwaway Gmail account. The body of the messages? Screenshots. Photos. Hotel booking receipts. Conversations. Not just between Sarah and Drew, but between Drew and at least 3 other women. One of them was a married woman from Naperville. Another? An executive from Sarah's own company. I didn't know whether to feel more disgusted or relieved. Disgusted, obviously, because the man who helped destroy my marriage was worse than I imagined. Relieved because, well, maybe now Sarah would finally stop making excuses for what she did. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. Then I got a call from a blocked number. Mike? It was the executive from Sarah's company. I'll call her Rachel. Rachel didn't waste time. I need you to know that I had no idea Sarah was involved with him. I was seeing Drew, too, off and on, casually. Nothing serious. But I thought you should know, he's not just dangerous emotionally. He's reckless. I asked what she meant. He's being investigated at work. Financial misconduct. Fraud, possibly. Some clients filed reports. Just when I thought the pit couldn't get any deeper, I didn't say much. Just thanked her and hung up. But now, I had more questions. If Drew's under investigation and Sarah was connected to him through work, did she know? Was she just involved with him romantically? Or was there more? I didn't want to believe that. As much as I hated what she did, I didn't want to think the mother of my kids was involved in anything criminal. But then came the twist that really shattered me. She knew. Not only did she know she'd helped him, not with the fraud itself, but with hiding meetings, covering for expenses, helping him launder the time he spent on personal errands as client meetings. How do I know? Because the company launched an internal audit, and her name came up. She was suspended, then fired. I found out from someone else, not her. One of her old coworkers messaged me, thought you should know what's going on. I'm not defending her, but I don't think she knew the full extent. She just thought she was helping him manage optics. Still shady, though. Now, everything is unraveling for her. She lost her job. Drew stopped answering her calls. One of his other mistresses, yes, mistress is the right word here, filed a police report after he got aggressive with her in a hotel lobby. There might be charges coming. And Sarah? She's crashing. Last week, she showed up at my brother's house where I've been staying. I don't know how she found out where I was. She was crying, shaking, barely holding herself together. I lost everything, she said. Mike, please. I can't do this alone. I told her she needed to leave. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't yell. I just told her this was a consequence, not a punishment. A consequence. She begged me. Don't let the kids grow up hating me. I said, then be honest with them. Because if you lie to them, I will tell them the truth when they're old enough. Then I shut the door. But here's the real kicker. 2 nights ago, I was putting my daughter to bed. She asked if she could talk to me about something secret. She said, Mommy told me she didn't mean to hurt us. That she was sad. But she said you were sad first, a long time ago. She said you were already gone before she did anything wrong. That hit like a brick. Because that's the new version of the story Sarah's telling. She's rewriting history, painting me as emotionally distant, as if her affair was some inevitable reaction to my absence. The same absence that only existed in her head. I don't even know if she fully believes it or if it's just a survival tactic. But that's where we are now. Custody battle still ongoing. Her legal team is trying to delay everything, claiming emotional distress and mental health concerns. Mine is pushing for finalization. Fast. And me? I'm just tired. Exhausted from playing the detective, the lawyer, the single dad, the therapist, and the guy trying to hold what's left of his life together. The story's not over. Hell, It's probably just getting to the ugliest chapter. But I'll keep updating. Because someone needs to hear this. And maybe because part of me still needs to let it out. It all came to a head at the custody hearing. I was already tense. The courtroom was cold, the kind of cold that gets in your chest and makes you feel like you can't breathe right. My lawyer had warned me that Sarah's side might go low. I thought I was ready for that. I wasn't. She showed up with her lawyer and her mother. That caught me off guard. Her mom and I always had a decent relationship. We used to spend holidays together. She'd bring over her weird fruitcake and we'd fake liking it. But now, she sat next to Sarah, stone-faced. The judge went through the motions. Asked about visitation schedules, school routines, aftercare options. All standard. Then Sarah's lawyer stood up and said, "Your Honor, we'd like to submit testimony regarding emotional unavailability and the father's dismissive behavior, which contributed to the deterioration of the marriage and the subsequent emotional instability of the children." I swear, my jaw hit the damn floor. Dismissive? Me? The man who cooked dinner, bathed the kids, packed lunches, cleaned up her messes for years? They were building a case that I had emotionally neglected her, which led her to the affair, and that this created an unstable home environment. My lawyer stood up immediately. "Your Honor, we have documentation proving infidelity. There are messages, location logs, third-party witness accounts. And we have reason to believe the affair partner, Drew, is currently under criminal investigation for fraud, with the mother having direct ties to his activities." The judge asked for clarification. My lawyer handed over the emails, the screenshots, a formal statement from Rachel, the woman from Sarah's company, confirming the internal firing and Sarah's role in covering for Drew. The courtroom went silent. Then something I didn't expect happened. Sarah stood up. Without her lawyer. Without permission. She looked at the judge and then at me. Her voice shook. "I did it. I lied. I cheated. I covered for someone who lied to me. And I lost everything. But Mike, he wasn't cold. He wasn't distant. He was kind. He trusted me. And I broke him." Everyone was frozen. The judge asked her to sit. Her lawyer tugged at her sleeve, trying to calm her. But she ignored him. "I wanted to believe I had a reason," she continued. "I wanted to blame Mike. Because the truth that I just gave up on a good man because I was selfish and bored is worse." She finally sat down, shaking. I didn't speak. I couldn't. Her mom leaned over, whispering something. I couldn't hear it, but Sarah broke into tears and nodded. The judge paused for a while, then finally said he needed more time to review and would issue a ruling on custody in 2 weeks. We walked out into the hallway. I turned to leave, but her mom grabbed my arm gently. "I'm sorry," she said. "You didn't deserve any of this. And neither did the kids." I just nodded. Sarah didn't come over. She just stood there, crying quietly, holding her purse like it was the only thing keeping her upright. That night, I drove back to my brother's house. Sat in his kitchen. Told him everything. He said the one thing that really hit home. "You finally got the truth. Ugly as it is, you got it." I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt empty. Like I had carried this massive weight for so long, and now that it was gone, I didn't know what to do with my hands. The kids stayed with me that weekend. We played board games, watched movies, ate junk food. They laughed. I smiled. But part of me was still somewhere in that courtroom, hearing her voice crack when she said she broke me. Because she did. The judge awarded primary custody to me. She'd get alternating weekends, supervised for the first 6 months. She didn't fight it. Didn't appeal. Her lawyer looked surprised. Mine just nodded at me like, "It's over. It's been 3 months." Sarah moved in with her sister. She's doing therapy, apparently. We don't talk unless it's about the kids. Drew? Gone. No one's seen him. His LinkedIn vanished. Rachel told me his firm is going after him hard. Probably somewhere hiding under a fake name. I still have moments where I ask myself, could I have done something differently? Was there a moment I missed? But the truth is, the only mistake I made was trusting someone who didn't value it. My kids are adjusting. Slowly. My daughter stopped asking if we're getting back together. My son is still too young to understand fully, but he knows I'm here. Stable. Present. The house feels quiet without them when they're gone. I hate those weekends. But I use them. I run. I write. I think. I heal. People ask if I'll ever date again. Maybe. Not now. I don't trust like I used to. But I haven't given up. I don't know what the next chapter looks like yet. But I know this. I survived the worst night of my life. And I'm still standing. That has to count for something.